Good morning, all of you. Today we are going to see the radius ratio. The radius ratio in the case of tetrahedral word and also in the octahedral word. In octahedral word, you have seen two yellow balls and two orange balls at the corners of a square. Two yellow balls and two orange balls at the corners of a square. And above this one yellow ball, above this, like this, above this one yellow ball, and below this one orange ball. So it is like this. Two yellow balls in front and top one yellow ball and two orange balls. If I remove the top one and the bottom one then you will be getting these you will be getting these four balls at the corners of a square. Means above this one yellow ball is there, and below this, that is below these four balls at the center, one orange ball is there. So in this void, this is an octahedral void, this is an octahedral void. In this void, a small cation can be kept. A cation can be kept, and that cation, imagine in a spherical way only, that sphere, that spherical cation will be touching all the six balls. So here, this yellow ball, and behind this is the orange ball. Behind this is the orange ball. So if I show you like this, if I show you like this, you can see that orange ball, right? That is below these four balls. And this gap, this is the octahedral gap, on that is this yellow ball. But you have to consider all balls are of same color. We made the second layer, B layer with the yellow balls and A layer with the orange balls. That's why I changed the color. Now, actually all balls are of same color. It should be same color because the crystal lattice is made by these anions or these bigger atoms. So what you see inside this is a cation, or that void you have to consider the cation which is kept inside. So that cation, a small cation like this. One small cation. So this cation will be touching all these four balls. So all the six balls the cation will be touching. For the simplicity, I remove the top yellow ball and bottom orange ball, and the cation will be present here. So its radius and the bigger ball's radius. What's the relation between these two? This is small r, its radius is small r, and its radius is capital R. What's the relation between the small r and capital R in the case of an octahedral void? That we are going to see. So I am going to draw those four balls which are present at the corners of a square. Now at the center is the small cation present. That is the octahedral void. The top ball is removed, bottom ball is removed. Now this is the radius. That black line is the radius, and here also back line is the radius. You can imagine a right angle over there, and this I am extending till the center of this one ball, and here also to the center of this center. Now this is again R, and I am extending, that is again R. So this is capital R, this is capital R. This one is capital R, this is capital R, and here is small r, and here also small r. So you can construct a right angle triangle in this. So what will be the relation? What will be the relation between this? You can construct a Pythagoras triangle. So this much, that is capital R plus small r whole square plus this capital R plus small r whole square is equal to 2r square. According to Pythagoras, this is the relation. So, capital R plus small r whole square plus again capital R plus small r whole square is equal to 2r whole square. So here on the left hand side, twice r plus r whole square. Twice r plus r whole square is equal to 4r square. Now, you take the square root. Taking square root. Taking square root. That is r plus r is equal to under root 2r. So this relation we have got. Or small r is equal to what is root? Okay, root 2r minus capital R. What is root 2r? 1.414 capital R minus then 1r. So 1.414 r minus 1 r is 0.414 capital R. Or taking that capital R to the left hand side, that is r by capital R. Small r is the radius of that cation or that void is equal to 0.414. So this is the radius ratio in the case of octahedral void. In the case of octahedral void. So small r is 0.414 times capital R. So in the case of an octahedral void, the radius ratio is this. If the radius ratio if this radius ratio touches this 0.414, then the void will be octahedral. The void will be octahedral. A suitable cation can be kept over there. Now let's go to the derivation of small r upon capital R in the case of a tetrahedral void. In the case of a tetrahedral void, In the case of a tetrahedral void, the situation is like this. One red ball, one orange ball behind, and three yellow balls in front, like this. This is a tetrahedral void. This is a tetrahedral void. This void is smaller than an octahedral void. If you find out, actually, then the size of this tetrahedral void is smaller than an octahedral void in a crystal. Now, let's see, let's derive. You can see that this, if I keep a small cation over there, that cation will be touching, that cation will be touching all the four balls, all the four balls. And these bigger balls are also touching. I told you in a crystal lattice, all balls are of same color. So I am taking same color balls. So behind that orange ball, I replaced by one yellow ball. So this is the situation. These balls are touching each other, and this small cation, what can be kept over here, you can consider it as a small moti bead. So that bead or that atom or the particle will be touching all the four balls. See, this is, if you join the centers of the, if you join the centers of these spheres, you'll be getting a regular tetrahedron. That's why we are calling that, we are naming that void as a tetrahedral void. Now, what's the radius ratio? What is the radius ratio of the small r and capital R? A small bead, moti, can be kept inside this. That moti or that particle or that atom or that cation will be touching all the four bigger sized particle, that is this yellow particle, yellow ball, yellow sphere, yellow atom. Now, you imagine this, you imagine this tetrahedron or these four balls inside a cube. Inside a cube. You will see that. See, I'm just showing this like this. Two balls. See, top two balls. Bottom two balls. I can keep it like this. I can keep it like this to show you the tetrahedron. I can keep it like this. One up, three down. See? Now I am shifting, I am tilting like this, and I am putting this inside a cube. Inside a cube. Now you will see the upper two balls will be touching the opposite corners of a cube. Opposite corners of a cube. This is a cube. This is a cube. Upper two balls will be touching these two. Upper two balls will be touching these two, and the lower two balls will be touching these two. Right? This is a cube. Upper two balls will be touching the opposite corners, this and this. You can imagine a small cube. This is a bigger cube. So here, upper two balls. What is upper two balls? The tetrahedron, which is like this, I shifted in this format. So you will see two upper balls and two lower balls. Upper two balls will be touching the opposite corners of a cube, and the lower two balls will be touching the other. Upper two balls will be touching these two corners, and the lower two balls will be touching these two down. This is a cube. Upper two balls will be touching these two corners, right? Opposite corners. And lower two balls will be touching. Lower two balls will be touching this black, and the one which is opposite to that, means diagonally opposite to this one, to this one, right? See, black and this one. So you will be fitting that tetrahedral void inside this cube. You will be fitting that tetrahedral void in such a way that the bigger balls will be touching the opposite corners, this opposite corners, and down this black and this one, down black and this one. See, diagonally opposite here, diagonally opposite, and here this upper two. You see, top two balls will be touching upper two, diagonally opposite, and bottom two yellow balls will be touching this diagonally opposite downwards, this black and this diagonally opposite blue. So you have to imagine a smaller cube. I don't have a smaller cube. This is a tetrahedron. This is that cation, smaller cation. Upper two will be touching. See, upper two will be touching diagonally opposite two corners, and the lower two balls will be touching. Lower two balls will be touching diagonally opposite. So this cube, two balls, upper two will be touching diagonally opposite corners on the upper four corners, and lower two will be touching again diagonally opposite down corners. So this is a tetrahedron. This is that small cation that can be kept inside, that tetrahedral void. Now you see, all these four balls are touching. All these four balls are touching. This upper ball is touching all the three, or this ball is touching all the three. So now we are going to draw this in a diagram, and we'll be deriving this relation between, small r and capital R in the case of a tetrahedral void. So that tetrahedral void, along with that four yellow balls, we are fitting into a cube for the derivation. So a cube is ready. Center is the void. That is the cation. And upper two diagonally opposite corners. Upper two diagonally opposite corners. This is one ball. This is another ball. I'll mark it with yellow because we were using yellow. Diagonally opposite corners. And down here, here one ball, yellow, and here one ball. Now you see this blue small captain is touching all the four. I cannot show that in the diagram. This blue cation, smaller cation, which is kept inside this tetrahedral void, is touching all the four. And at the same time, all the yellow balls are touching each other. I showed you. All the yellow balls are touching each other. Now, what's the relation? For that, you have to draw a face diagonal. A face diagonal from the center of one yellow ball through the blue ball to the opposite center, opposite corner of that tube to that yellow ball. So I have drawn a line once again that is from its center. I have drawn that. What is the length of this? What is the length of this blue line? What is the length of this blue line? If edge length is A, if edge length is A, if edge length is A, edge length is A means this side is also A. That means this green line is root 2A. Green line is root 2A. We have already seen that. This edge length is also A. So what is the length of that blue line? That is root 3A. We have already seen root 3A. So length of that blue line is root 3A. I am writing over there. Root 3A. Root 3A. So edge length is A. Edge length is A. So green line, length of that green line is root 2A. You can consider, so this is a Pythagoras triangle. This is a Pythagoras triangle. So this A, this A. So this one, this green line is under root 2A. Now you have to consider another Pythagoras triangle. This is that 90. This is the 90 angle. So you can imagine another Pythagoras triangle, that is green line, blue line, and the black line. Green line, blue line, and the black line. So this square plus this A square is equal to this body diagonal square, blue line square. So you can find out that root 3A. Root 3, this is root 3A. Root 3A. From this, we are going to, this means this root 2A and root 3A, we have already derived in the previous classes. Now, using these things, we are going to derive a relation between R by R in the case of a tetrahedral void. In the case of a tetrahedral void. Now, two equations I am going to make. Two equations I am going to make. Smaller void, its radius is small r, and that yellow ball, yeah, yellow sphere, yellow atom, that bigger atom with which the crystal lattice is made, its radius is capital R. Now, what is the distance from its center, this red spot to this red spot? I have made two red spots over there. So the distance between these two, that is root 3a by 2. Root 3a by 2. You know that that blue ball is touching that yellow ball. That means r plus r. Small r plus capital R. R plus R is equal to root 3a by 2. Half of that. Body diagonal blue line was root 3a. So it's half. You know that blue ball is touching that yellow ball. So the distance between these two, distance between interatomic distance, yeah, interparticle distance, that is from the center of yellow ball to the center of blue ball, that is capital R and this small r, they are touching each other. So r plus r is equal to root 3a divided by 2. This is equation number 1. Another thing you can notice that this yellow ball is touching this yellow ball that we have seen. When I showed you those 4 yellow balls, they are touching each other. I told that time also they are touching each other. This yellow ball is touching this yellow ball. That means it's capital R plus it's capital R. R plus R, that is 2R. 2R is equal to 2R is equal to, what is the length? Root 2a. That is a phase diagonal. Phase diagonal is root 2a. That is the same length as that of the green line. Green line. So that green line I can show over here from its center to its center. This one. This is again root 2a only. So that I am rubbing it off. Phase diagonal is root 2a. So I have got two equations. One is r plus r is equal to root 3a by 2. And the second is 2r. 2r means these two yellow balls are touching. Or you can take from the top also. This way. Actually this one is touching this one. Yellow balls are touching each other. These two yellow balls are touching each other. So you can make out an equation from here also, that is its r plus its r, they are touching each other, that is phase diagonal root 2a. So two equations you have got, and we can solve these two equations to find out the relation between small r and capital R. So what you have to do, that a more complicated equation divided by a less complicated equation, that way you can take very easily, that is r plus r divided by 2r is equal to root 3a by 2. See equation 1 by 2. Root 3a by 2 and root 2a. So a got cancelled. 2 got cancelled. What is remaining? Root 3. Right hand side, what is remaining? Root 3 upon root 2. Now come to the left hand side. that is r by r plus small r by capital R, means I expanded in that way, is equal to root 3 upon root 2. Or what is this r by r means 1. 1 plus r by r is equal to root 3 upon root 2. Or r by r is equal to root 3 by root 2 minus 1. You can take out that you can solve the right hand side. How? By taking the LCM. What is the LCM? I'm going to the left hand side, that is r by r is equal to root 2, that is the LCM, and root 3 on the numerator, root 3 minus root 2. Root 3 minus root 2, and you can substitute the value of root 3, that is 1.732 minus 1.414 divided by 1.414. Solving this, you will be getting 0.225. 0.225, or you can write as r is equal to small r is equal to 0.225 capital R. 0.225 capital R. So which is bigger, octahedral void or tetrahedral void? Octahedral void is bigger than a tetrahedral void. So this is the relation between small r and capital R, or we can say radius ratio. If the radius ratio touches 0.225, radius ratio means small r upon capital R. Small r is the radius of the void. Here tetrahedral void, and capital R is the radius of the sphere, those spheres which make the crystal lattice. So radius ratio in the case of tetrahedral void is 0.225. Radius ratio R by small r upon capital R is 0.225. So for the tetrahedral void, radius ratio is 0.225. For an octahedral void, the radius ratio is 0.414. This value you have to by heart. Next, we are moving to another topic, that is locating tetrahedral voids and octahedral voids in FCC. In an FCC, you have to locate the position, locating tetrahedral voids. Then afterwards, we'll be finding this octahedral voids in FCC. So an FCC unit cell, what is an FCC unit cell?